can also get it from sinus infections or sometimes middle ear infections. Okay, so that's it for today's lecture. We have a couple more of those dissection instruction videos to watch for today. One of them is relevant to what we did on Monday, but since a lot of you didn't do Monday's dissection, this will be relevant for today's dissection for you. And the other will be relevant for what we're actually supposed to do today.
Hey, Dr. Gold.
Oh.
Today, Dr. Poole, we're doing the carotid triangle, the thyroid and parathyroid glands. Great. See you in lab.
Back to the neck. Today you're going to be looking at the carotid triangle. The first thing you want to do is go ahead and peel back your platysma. You'll expose the sternocleidomastoid again. You want to look for your great orbicular nerve, which is here in blue. It's going to come up and over the sternocleidomastoid and up towards the ear. The next thing you want to re-find from last lab is the hypoglossal nerve. It's this big nerve, cranial nerve 12. It's giving off a small nerve to the thyroid muscle. Once you find that, you're going to want to find your cancer cervicalis. That's C1, 2, and 3, and they come together and form like a handle. That's what cancer means. So first look for your descendants hypoglossy. That's C1 coming down from where the hypoglossal nerve is. It comes down and usually meets a common branch of C2 and C3 called the descendants cervicalis that will cross over your internal jugular vein this way. In our case, we have independent branches of C2 and C3, so remove the internal jugular vein back a little bit. So what I'm holding here is a descendants. What I'm holding here is a descendants hypoglossy. And then here is C2 coming to join here. Just next to that is C3. So not only do we have two branches instead of one, we have a unique path because usually these come over the lateral margin of the internal jugular vein and instead of coming into the medial margin. Next, you'll want to find your internal and external laryngeal nerves. So the internal, we move all of this down a little bit. Internal just here, running with the superior thyroid artery, going into the thyroid membrane. The external is running along this artery down to the cricothyroid muscle. So it's in this bundle. It's a little bit fragile, so I don't want to mess it up. Following that, you'll look at the branches of the common carotid. So here, you can run all the way. This end of the way. So I've cut the stylohyoid and the digastric. I don't think that's in your instructions, so don't do that. I just wanted to make this very clear for you guys. So here is that descendants hypoglossy again. Move that out of the way. This is the common carotid. Here it splits into the internal carotid and the external carotid. The external gives off several branches. First, the occipital artery. Glossal. occipital artery, which we saw in the back of the neck. The superior thyroid artery, which is just here, it gives off a bunch of smaller arteries that I just put back. Here is the facial artery from last lab. I've cleared its whole path down so that you can see its connection here to the external carotid. The lingual artery is just here, going more medially to the tongue. And then the continuation of the external carotid is just underneath, going up towards the face. We've already mentioned the internal jugular vein, we'll look at that today. And then the very cool thing you'll get to do today is find your vagus nerve. It runs in between the carotid and the internal jugular vein, so that's this right here, cranial nerve 10. I'm going to show it to you on the other side of the body here, so bring that back. Here is the vagus nerve in the carotid triangle. Here, if I pull on it, you can see it continues just here in the root of the neck. Follow it around to where we saw it in the mediastinum. So here it gives off, here's the continuation of the vagus nerve. Here it gives off the recurrent laryngeal up around the aorta, going all the way up, following the trachea up through the thyroid gland and into the larynx. So you can appreciate its whole path. The last thing you're going to look at today is the thyroid, which is this big gland here, and the 4 parathyroid glands, which is 2 on each side. And then that's it for today. See you in lab.
These are all the sleep days. Look at them.
What are we doing in lab today, Dr. Gould? Well, Dr. Gould, today we're doing the root of the neck. Great, see you in lab.
This is today.
So this is the first part of the separating medial to this muscle. So one of the branches that you see here is the internal thoracic branch. Which is usually in the thorax. Generally, just superior to that, you'll see the thyroid cell. It has 3 branches coming off of it. This branch here is the transverse cervical artery, which goes across the neck. Up from there, right here, is the suprascapular artery, and we can actually follow this across over to here and see its course also going across the neck and eventually over the scapula. Going back to the thyrocervical trunk, the last branch is the inferior thyroid branch, and that angles superiorly and medially towards the thyroid gland, which is just here. Moving, one more branch in the first part of the subclavian. Right back here is the vertebral artery, and that's going to course superiorly through the transverse foramen of the cervical vertebrae up into the skull. Moving on, here at the anterior scalene, the portion of the subclavian behind this is the second part of the subclavian. And there's one branch that comes out just about there, and that is the costocervical trunk, right here. And then moving out into the third part of the subclavian artery, we have another branch coming out here, and this is the dorsal scapular artery. Finally, in this region, I'll just point out a couple other things. These right here are big nerves. They're parts of the brachial plexus, which we'll get to when we dissect the upper limb. But right back here, this muscle is the middle scalene. So you have anterior and middle scalene, and both the subclavian and the brachial plexus pass through that gap in between the two of those. Moving a little bit higher up into the neck, we'll look at some of the nerves that pass through. And we have some greatest hits here that you've seen before. Here's the vagus nerve, pinned in yellow, running through the carotid sheath. And a bit deep to the carotid sheath, running here, you can see the sympathetic trunk. And you might be able to find cervical ganglia along that. Finally, we'll come down to this white pin. And this nerve here, which is the phrenic, and I will hopefully demonstrate that convincingly by pulling on the phrenic nerve in the thoracic cavity.